Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities we may have today. You're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Okay, so we're starting off here on the daily as always, right? We have EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. So what's the daily showing us? Well, my bias has and will be for the time being bullish. Okay, because I believe our structure is bullish and we're making our way up now correctively and slowly, but towards our buy side liquidity target. This is the buy side liquidity target because we broke market structure, pulled back, mitigated those discount POIs, okay, and healthy price action should now target the external liquidity in that direction. After we broke market structure, right, it's giving signs we're going to come for this buy side liquidity. So if you want to know why I have a bias, just have a look at my bias video from a couple of days ago if you need help with establishing a long-term bias or not. So if we look at the daily, what happened previous day? We had a bullish engulfing. Okay, so I'm going to zoom into that price action here where you can see we've been making highs, high low, high highs, high lows, and going on to make high highs as well internal to this range here. Right, so price mitigated this inverse fair value gap here, right? It's tested it a couple times, rejecting it, and eventually now on Tuesday we've had that bullish engulfing, as you can see, giving us signs that we are going to head up towards this buy side liquidity. DXY on the other hand has been making lower lows, lower highs, right? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we did pull back yesterday into this daily fair value gap imbalance here on DXY, as you can see, and rejected from there, having that bearish engulfing. Okay, we have taken so far today, though it was more so in yesterday's NY evening and overnight, we've taken previous daily highs. We've had some bearish reaction from that. However, after such a bullish day, we're going to have a nice sort of bullish move, right, with POIs on a lower time frame, so it makes sense for price to have these pullbacks. So I think that's enough for the daily. I think everything's clear. Just to reiterate, you see we're mitigating POIs, order blocks, moving bullish, pulling back, mitigating some more POIs, moving bullish. Okay, so I wouldn't have any sort of bearish bias move, at least until we take this buy side liquidity high up here. Let's move on to the 4 hour. Let's see what that looks like for us. All right, so here we are on the 4 hour lower time frame. What do we have here on the 4 hour? Like I said, you can see previously we had that bullish move, pulled back, the daily inverse fair value gap, but ultimately here on the 4 hour we closed this imbalance, had a bullish move making that high, right, pulled back from there, come back down to an order block area here again, and imbalance fill, right, respected this area, and then we've gone on to make another bullish move, not yet taking out this high. So what is price doing now in these recent last 2 days price action? What do we have to look at? So price has made this move here. We're still within this bullish leg, by the way, which is what this range is here. So let me make that clear. Let me pull that out. All right, we have discount premium of this range here. Now we have this internal 4 hour range to this external 4 hour range. All right, so what am I looking for now? Price is pulling back towards a discount again. So I'm looking for what POIs I have in this discount. We have a 4 hour order block with imbalance, right, with fair value gap. So that makes this a high probability order block. Okay, so that's two confluences stacked up in this same area. So it looks like a high probability area to possibly look for longs. Okay, and it's within a discount. So this is where price swept liquidity, made a bullish move, right? Price is pulling back now, and we have a discount POIs or PD arrays. Okay, so order block here, imbalance here, and I'm looking for price to reject these areas to go long from. So for me, this lines up with my daily bias because we have POIs here. Now I need to wait for these POIs to be mitigated and hold, but that would work with my daily bias now for this area here with strong confluences to then target this buy side liquidity high, this buy side liquidity high. Okay, so we have these POIs and we have our daily bias overall. So these POIs here would be a good place to look for that daily bias to come up ultimately for this buy side liquidity here and here as well. Right, that's stacking up. If we look at DXY, again, we can see on Monday, mitigated that daily POI here and 4 hour POI, broke down, Now we've pulled back, and we also have 4-hour imbalance, which we've already spiked into, of course, which may explain the delay and some of this price action. But then we also have that order block above that price may be able to reach into while we reach into ours down here. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so I think that looks good. We have POIs on both DXY and EU to go with our daily bias to go long if price eventually makes it here. So let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's see what we can build in terms of confluences for that bias. So I think the 1 hour looks quite good here. Right, let me explain this 1 hour price action as to why it looks good for a bullish move. So yesterday on Tuesday, what we did was we spiked below these lows here, spiked below these Asia lows, previous day lows, right? And took that sell side liquidity and went on to make this high. So we had a bullish move from there. So this high here, this swing high where I have this line, was where the market structure shifted. We shifted even above this high as well, quite clearly, right? So we had this consolidation here, this sort of range, price swept beneath it, and then we had that bullish move. So now if we start to stack up our confluences now, so this is my 1 hour range, by the way. So as you can see, I have two ranges here. This was the 4 hour, this was the 1 hour. So we have this recent 1 hour move here, right, to this low. So from this low here, this swing low to this swing high. And where do I look for? Discount. And what's left in the discount? We have a 1 hour imbalance where that 4 hour imbalance is, right? So that CE here is just the middle of the 1 hour imbalance. That lines up with the 4 hour imbalance. We have a 1 hour order block here. You can see this strong bearish candle before the up move. So nice and strong order block. We have a breaker block here, right? I don't use those often, but that is there. I'm just stacking confluences in this area. We have this up candle before the down move that swept liquidity. Okay, so we swept that short-term low after this up candle. Okay, so that makes it a breaker block. So it's all built up in this zone here. So that is an attraction for price, in my opinion. It's in the discount. We have a whole array of confluences here for us to go long from, right? With my daily bias, with my more long-term bias to come, and our 1 hour, 4 hour targets will be this swing high here at least, then also this high, and ultimately that high up here. All right, but as day traders, you don't have to target that, but you could leave some of your position on if you get into one. All right, so I've also noted we've got this imbalance here. All right, of course, we've left imbalances on our way down. The reason why I've highlighted this imbalance is because price has mitigated that now, and it has actually now just closed, which for me confirms this POI here. Right, you can see we closed as like a high test spike into this zone. Now that indicates to me price wants to head lower. Okay, so price wants to head lower because we've mitigated a 1 hour POI. So I just drew that out to make it obvious. We mitigate POIs, we go from an imbalance and probably head towards another imbalance and liquidity, right? So we'll see what happens with price, but this is where I'm looking for those high probability longs. Okay, so let's go down to the M15. Let's see what a trade may look like for today. All right, so here on the M15 zone, as I've been saying, of course, this is where I want to get in for longs, right? We're mitigating this M15 and 1 hour imbalance here. This is the zone where I preferably want price to move into, right? This is in the discount. We have a whole array of confluences here that would be great for going long from. Right, and price has these sell side liquidity lows as well on the way. Okay, so it takes sell side liquidity into this zone here, right, which is great because it adds liquidity to our trade as well to come down into these confluence areas. So what would I want to see price do? Now, price come down lower into these zones here. I don't know how deep price is going to go, right? But let's say we come down as far as the order block, and then I want to see price have another market shift, right? Another break of structure above the internal swing high that it creates, right? Whether it's on the M15 or M5, and then we can pull back down to our high probability order block, right? Order block with fair value gap, so high probability to then go long. So that is what I want to see today, right? We would have some internal liquidity, possibly swept from the lows. We have our array of higher time frame order blocks here and imbalances. then I would want to see that shift in structure, that break of structure here. Then price possibly pull down correctively, leaving some inducement, just like how this may be inducement to our order block below, for us to set our order to go long from around in this zone here. So something along these lines here. You can go for your near targets, near highs, right, previous highs, or go for the buy side liquidity target, leave something on for that, of course. Okay, alright, so safe target, just that previous high there. The trade would look something like this. This is what I'll be looking for. Need this zone down here to hold, right, down in this high probability area here, and then we can go with that, what I believe to be the trend, to draw on price above from a discount. So I hope that's clear. I hope that made sense. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.